waterology here. So I decided to create a mini series of Zen reviews, in other words, kind of a warrior at home series, because our everyday life should and is a spiritual experience. I decided to share with you some things that I use, some appliances that I have that helped me, or maybe not so much, but I would like to share my experience in the hope that it can be helpful for you as well. And I would like to start this series with the most Zen-inducing appliance that I have at home. And today I will be reviewing this Thomas Aqua vacuum cleaner, which is a definite must-have for any aspiring Zen master. And in a moment, you're going to find out why. And the reason why I bought it is because it really does the job. Unlike many other vacuum cleaners that have basically they suck in the dust from the front end and disperse it evenly through the rear, this one actually keeps the dust in. So that was the positive. Now let's talk about the negatives. So firstly, see this weird little pipe that goes around the main pipe all around? Basically, it's supposed to enable you to do carpet washing. However, the way it works, you will be much better off just splashing water all over your carpet and just doing it this way. It's going to be much quicker and it works exactly the same. I've only used washing once for that reason. It just makes your carpet really wet and it takes ages to dry. But now I'm going to show you something much more interesting and the reason why I think this particular vacuum cleaner is the top of my Zen appliances. It has to be cleaned every time you use it, and the way it needs to be cleaned will either make you hate your life or hate humanity at large and vacuum cleaner designers in particular, or is going to make you a true Zen master. Alright, so this is where it gets really exciting. Inside we will find a container that collects all the dust and dirt, so we take it out. By the way, if you get one of these, do remember to remove this as well. Yes, it gets really disgusting and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it, but try and keep it in a dry place because otherwise the stink is going to be unbelievable. So let's take our container, it's about this big, to the bathroom. Alright, we're all set. So as you can see, it's quite big and the vacuum cleaner is quite big and heavy as well. Now, to clean this container, you will need something like a brush. I'm just using a paintbrush. You will need a sponge, a pair of gloves preferably, because it's really disgusting inside. I'm warning you now. And it's perfect actually for the modern times because you will also need a mask. And not only that, but there we go. So you need a mask, and it's a kind of a vacuum cleaner you really want to be social distancing from. Basically, the reason why I said it's going to make you hate everything or is going to make you into a Zen master is because of the way it's designed. So not only does it have to be cleaned every time, it consists of so many details, like so many elements you have to take out and clean separately. So there we go, that's what's inside. I warned you, it's going to be disgusting because it actually does clean. And as you probably know, cleanliness is a very important spiritual discipline. It's a very important step for every spiritual seeker. Because if the energy in your house is dirty, it's going to attract similar energies from the astral world and it's going to contaminate not just your environment but also your personal energy field. So you don't want that. So the reason why I'm wearing a mask is because this stage where I'm pulling this dust out, I just don't want to breathe it in, that's all. So you don't need to wear a mask, but you kind of want to. So take this out, draw it out. And the way I do it, I clean this first. And as you can see, because it's designed in a way that you can't really get into this is where you need a brush. Because the problem is, if you don't clean it well enough, like if you just be lazy and simply rinse it and there are bits of dust left, what will happen, it will start stinking, and I mean it stinks to high heaven. So you really want to make sure that you clean it thoroughly. So take this out, wash them separately. You really want to make sure that there are no little bits left and clean it as thoroughly as you possibly can. So there we go. Sometimes you may notice that you haven't done the best job the first time around, so you have to repeat it and get rid of all of those bits. Okay, so these are done. So now we have to clean inside of these as well. Alright. And obviously we're careful not to block our pipes. So we clean this as well. Alright, so these are the first three elements done. I hope you're excited for what's coming next, because next we've got more things to clean. So firstly we start from the big container by simply rinsing it out. Because inside there is another little part. Inside there is another little part that is full of angles, which is this one. I have no idea what it does and why it is step 4, apart from just being sheer annoyance, because again it's got all those little nooks and crannies in here. Okay, so you clean it. And then I make it look easy because I've done it so many times now. Now, this little bit always stays dirty, no matter what I tried, and I have no idea why that is. It's just how it rolls. So, we've got 4 elements cleaned. Rinse our container again. So our container is now clean, and we start with another part, which is this one at the bottom of this box. Not sure why it's here, but maybe it helps somehow. It's just a hassle to clean. So we've got this one as well, and now I'll rinse this again. Now we have to take out this frame that goes around. So if you are an anxious or impatient person, just being really mindful about what you do really helps, because it keeps you grounded and keeps you in the moment. And the reason why you have to take this one out is because underneath, as you can see, there are bits of dirt and dust left, and if you don't take them out, you're in trouble because your house is going to stink. So, we clean this. I usually do it without soap, but you can use soap if you like. So it really takes your mind off all the worries that you may otherwise have, and all the fears and all of that, because you have to be really mindful with making sure that every single angle is clean, so you can have a nice experience using it another time. Okay, so what's left is our container. So again, we just use the sponge to wipe it clean. There we go. Alright, so remember what I said about cleaning it thoroughly. Here comes probably one of the biggest disappointments that reminds you of the impermanence of everything, and also that true perfection can never be achieved. Because this thing is designed in a way that it smells if you don't clean it properly. However, it is designed in a way that you can never clean it properly. Because this part, just this pipe over here, you can't remove it. And every time it will collect dust and dirt and it will sit there. So there is nothing you can do about it, or at least nothing that I've discovered. The way I clean it is this. It doesn't really help, but it gives me an impression that I contribute to its cleanliness, at least somehow. So there we go. This is how we clean Thomas Aqua vacuum cleaner. And you have to do this every single time. So I tend to keep it like this and dry them separately. And so the next time I want to use them, what I do, I put this bit here. Then this bit comes in here. Then this one goes in. Okay, so that's the bottom part ready. And the top part, we put the sponges back in. Okay, and now we have to add just the right amount of water, because otherwise the cleaner won't start. So I'll show you. There is a little line here on the side that tells you what the right amount of water is. So you have to make sure that it's precisely what it says. Okay, so now you put this up. And it won't close by itself. So here you have an opportunity to work with your emotions, and especially with your anger management, because it can be quite frustrating, especially if you forget, so you can spill the water. So what you need to do is to press it and hit it like this, and now it's all good to go. Now another thing you want to be mindful of is not to confuse these two buttons, even though they look very similar, because this is the power switch and this is the water pump. And when the tank is empty, you mustn't press this, because not only does it make an awful noise, it can also break the pump. So just like this, don't do it. So just another little gem in the treasure trove of your mindfulness. So hopefully by now you've realized that you must live in the now, because this is where you are the most effective, and also that perfection is a destination to be strived towards, but never to be achieved. Now, let's proceed with the overlook of how the exterior of this vacuum cleaner works. As I mentioned before, this has to be taken out and dried, because otherwise you're in trouble. Now, it's got some neat features, such as a water tank at the back with a lid that never sits in properly and always falls off. It always falls off, and you can see there is actually a broken off end because of that. This is supposed to be a handle, I suppose, and so it's so shallow, and the thing is so heavy that it doesn't help at all. If anything, it's actually frustrating, because well, you see it there, you think it's going to work, you try to grab it, but there is not even an indent there. So you have nothing to grab. And it just, yeah. So once again, you understand mindfully that not everything ever works out the way you intended or the way you planned. And sometimes the universe is just the way it is. Now, the last thing I would like to cover in this review is an interesting designer feature in the form of this plug. So it looks like any normal plug. However, the way this vacuum cleaner is supposed to stand is just the way you're seeing right now. But what will happen if we try to make it pull the cable in? Come on, do it for me. Well, basically it does pull the cable in, so it's not all that bad. Let me see. I mean, normally it does. Let me. There we go. So it does pull the cable in. However, the plug does not go in because it's way too big for the hole that you see here. So when you try to keep it upright, this is basically what happens. Let me get you a better view. This is how it stands. And then again, you may think that perfection is a false concept because nothing is really perfect in the way that you imagine, but perhaps it's perfect in its own peculiar way. And this is what this vacuum cleaner is about. But as I said, all minuses apart, it really does the job. Oh, by the way, it's also on the expensive side. So if you're considering getting it, just consider all the hassle and all the mindful advantages that it brings. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this first episode. Any questions or comments, just post them below this video. I always read and reply personally. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so YouTube knows that you mean it, for more spiritual insights and for more Zen reviews from this series. This was Jay from Aria. Thank you for watching and see you next time.